You ready for another ghost story? Not a Christmas goes by that Dr. Horatio Dupree doesn't think of little Faith Simpkins, her gray wool coat. It had been a long Christmas Eve for Dr. Dupree. Several children had come down with chicken pox. A high school girl had contracted hepatitis. A young boy had fallen from a grapevine swing, cut himself up pretty bad. Several pregnant women had needed his attention and had tried his patience as a bachelor. He had given prescriptions for everything from cough syrup to nerve pills. It was 10 o'clock on Christmas Eve. He was bone tired. Dr. Dupree drove his old car through the thick snow up to his hotel in the coal camp. He opened the door, saw that bed, and he was so tired he didn't even change clothes. He just threw off his coat, slipped off his old shoes, and got into bed. And before you know it, he was snoring like a hog in a cornfield. He started dreaming. He dreamt that there was a plague in the camp. Hundreds needed him. Thousands would die if he didn't take care of them. He was giving an injection to a small child when he heard the knock. At first, he ignored it, but the knock got louder, and he realized that it was coming from his own door. He sat up, and the knock continued. He got out of bed and slipped on his shoes, and he opened the door, and it stuck at first, but then it flew out into the door, into the hallway, and nearly hit the little girl who was standing there in the hall. She was crying, tears streaming down her cheeks, and she sobbed with every breath she took. She was wearing a little gray coat that was soaked with snow and muddy patent leather shoes. She looked up at him. "You gotta come now, sir. You gotta come with me right now." "What's wrong, child?" "It's my mom. She's real sick. You gotta come help her." "Come in here and let's get you dried off." "Oh no, sir, I ain't got time for that. You gotta come right now." "What's wrong with your mother?" She's got the flu. She's got a bad fever. She won't eat nothing, and she's seeing things that ain't there. You gotta come right now." "Well, where do you live, child?" "We live up Proctor, Devil's Holler." Dr. Dupree knew that Proctor was at least 15 miles away. He looked at the girl. "I rode our mule up here. I figured maybe you could drive your car back up and it'd be quicker." Thinking of that child riding 15 miles through the snowstorm, Doc grabbed his coat, got his bag, slipped his shoes on, and they were out the door. He tied the mule up in the shed, got the girl in the car, got the heat on, and they started to drive. He looked over at her and said, "A little girl like you must have a pretty name." "My name's Faith Simpkins, sir." "Well, that sure is a pretty name." They drove on, and he realized it was so quiet. The girl had fallen asleep. When they got near Proctor, he shook her awake. "Where's this holler you live in?" It's right up there, sir, right by those trees." They drove up a gravel road, snow crunching under the tires, and a couple of old hound dogs chasing them and barking as they drove by. Faith pointed at a little wooden shack, weathered silver. The windows were slanted, the porch was all crooked, and there were a few pine boughs tied to the porch with red yarn. They stopped in front of the house, and Faith jumped out. She ran up to the porch, pulled a rawhide string, and the door came open. They went into a small, modest room that had a wood stove in the center, a couple of chairs, and a couple of family pictures on the wall. "Mama's in the back bedroom. You go see to her. I'm going to go get Aunt Sudie. She's real old and couldn't come down the mountain to fetch you." And with that, Faith was out the door. The doctor found Mrs. Simpkins in the bedroom, lying in an old iron bed with a thin chenille blanket pulled up to her neck. She was shaking with cold. The bed shivered with her convulsions. He got closer. "Mrs. Simpkins, it's Dr. Dupree from up coal camp. I've come to look after you." Her fever seemed to be breaking, but he took out his stethoscope and listened to her chest. Her breathing was raspy. He knew it was pneumonia. He gave her some antibiotics and told her how to take them, and that she should stay in bed and stay warm and try and eat something. Looking at a little picture of Faith sitting on the bedstead right next to her, he said, "You had a brave girl there, Mrs. Simpkins. If she hadn't come through that snowstorm for you, it might have been too late. She must really love you." Mrs. Simpkins' face clouded. My Faith, she's been dead 2 years now. She died on Christmas Day of a bad flu. Dr. Dupree looked at the picture and he said, "This little girl in the picture, this is Faith?" "Yes, sir. She's my onlyest baby. She's one of the angels now." Her face got peaceful. "Only thing I got left of her is this picture and her little coat hanging there in the closet." Dr. Dupree's heart pounded as he walked over to the closet, pulled back the thin cloth that covered the door, and there, hanging in the closet, was that little wool coat that Faith had been wearing when she knocked on his door in the Looney Ridge coal camp. He reached out and touched it. It was still wet. For our last dance of the evening, we have Circle of Sisters again. I told you they were the hardest working dance troupe in Margarettsville. This is a new creation for the show. It's a Saidi cane dance, which is a new style for them, but one that they had a lot of fun learning. The idea of belly dancing with canes originates from Egyptian folkloric dances, in particular from the Saidi region in Upper Egypt. It's a traditional male dance that's called tatib, and it's also considered a martial art, accompanied by music in which fighters use a stick. Tatib as a martial art must have ancient roots, as images of men fighting with sticks have been found depicted on ancient Egyptian stones. Let's welcome Circle of Sisters.
Baby,